Hello everyone and welcome to the class. Today's conversation class is about art. Don't be afraid if you don't think you're an artist, because I'm going to tell you right now I'm not an artist myself, but we'll have a general and informal discussion about art. Please go ahead and join if you would like to, and in a moment we will get started. Okay, great. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Audrey, and as I said, today's conversation will be on art, and it looks like we're filling up, so we're going to go ahead and get started. To introduce ourselves, go ahead and tell us your name, where you're from, and if you consider yourself an artist. So do you consider yourself an artist? So my name is Audrey. I'm from the US, and I would say that I am not an artist. I have never been very good at art. In drawing, painting, music, I'm not very good at that. Maybe I'm not a creative person, but no, I would say I'm not an artist. Okay, so let's go to Albena. How are you? Are you there, Albena?
Fine, teacher. How are you?
Great, nice to see you again today.
Sorry, my bad connection. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, Albena, just tell us who you are, where you're from, and tell us, do you consider yourself to be an artist?
Again, please.
Yes, tell us your name, where you're from, and do you think you're an artist?
Sorry, teacher, I want to make my because I cannot understand you.
Okay, we'll come back to you, okay, Albena? Okay, we have Amin. How are you, Amin?
I'm fine. What are you, teacher?
Great, thank you. Tell us where you're from.
My name is Amin, and I'm 19, and I'm from Saudi Arabia, from Makkah.
Okay, great. So do you consider yourself to be an artist?
Actually, no.
No, in no way?
Yeah, I'm just normal person. And so,
Okay, good. Let's go to, we have Gustavo. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, great. Where are you from?
I'm from Colombia, and unfortunately, I don't consider me as an artist, but I like the art.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's go to Juan. How are you?
Hi, my name is Juan. I'm from Peru. I'm 18 years old. Well, I'm not an artist, but I consider myself an creative person. Well, I think that I have a good imagination.
Okay, very good. So maybe you could be an artist too, if you have a good imagination.
Well, yes, pretty much. I know how to draw and paint.
Okay, very good. And we'll go to Marley. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. What about you?
Great. Tell us where you're from and if you consider yourself to be an artist.
Okay, so I'm from Brazil, and definitely I'm not an artist.
Not an artist?
No.
Not a Picasso? No? Okay, good. Let's go to Omar. How are you?
I would like to say that I could be an artist if we consider drawing cartoon is an art. I'd like to write a cartoon. I have a lot of them in notebooks, in my books, and also in my laptop.
Okay, great. So you say you draw cartoons then?
Yeah, I like to draw cartoons a lot. especially the faces, only anything related to the emotion, something like that.
Okay, perfect. Maybe if you have some cartoons nearby, you can show us later
Well,
in
I
the
do
class.
have. Wait, just a second.
Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for Omar, we'll go ahead and have Tom. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone, I'm Tom. I'm a student in Canada. So, when it comes to artist, I don't consider myself as a strictly defined artist. So, like, do some paintings or music, but I have my own opinion, my opinion and values on the arts have in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So there are
Excuse
many
me,
different
Audrey.
ways you can. Yes, go ahead.
Is there's an echo? I maybe
Yeah, there is a lot of echo.
Oh, it might be coming
when
from me. I'm having some problems with my sound. Let me turn. I'll try to fix it, and tell me if it's still a problem. Okay?
okay.
No, no,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
There's a little noise in the background.
Okay. Let me
It's
see.
like you are on
Okay.
the stereo mix.
Okay, I'm sorry if there's some echo coming from my microphone. It seems like my headphones aren't working, so I'm gonna try and mute my microphone when somebody else is talking, and hopefully that will help the problem. Okay? We'll go back to Omar. I saw that you had your cartoons. Could you show it to us again?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Okay, very good. It looks very nice. Yes, so I would consider you an artist, Omar. Very nice.
Yeah, I have a lot. It has a lot of emotion, inner emotion that come to my head, and then I just draw it.
That's great. Okay, and now we'll go to Yusuf. Could you tell us where you're from, and do you consider yourself to be an artist?
Yes, hello, I'm Yusuf. I'm from Yemen, and I don't think so that I'm an artist. I started learning graphics and designing. I don't know if that's an art, but I still don't consider myself as an artist.
Yeah, sure. That is definitely an art. So we'll go ahead. It looks like everybody. Oh, let's give Albena another try. Albena, would you like to answer the question now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I would like to be a painter, maybe, because I am skillful about this subject.
Okay, very good. And have you studied painting before?
It is so far from painting. I am engineer.
Okay, yes, so that's very different. Not much creativity, right?
Yes, yes. It will be a hobby for me. Painting
Okay,
will be
great.
a hobby for me.
Great. So, okay, this question is for everybody now that we've all introduced ourselves and we know everybody. So what is the difference between art and science? What makes things an art?
The
Maybe arts
artist, I
need
think.
skills.
Go ahead, Gustavo.
Okay, I think the artist maybe must be more creative than the scientist.
Okay, good. So creativity is definitely a factor. Yusuf, what were you going to say?
I think to be an artist, you need to be having some skills.
Some skills. Okay, so does it matter what kind of skills, or is it any kind of skills you can be an artist?
Like if you want to be painter, you have to have the skill of painting. No matter if you study painting and you don't have the skills of painting, so you'll not be a painter.
Okay, so what if you're creative, but you're not very talented? Are you still an artist?
Maybe in some arts, yeah. Some arts, if you are creative and you don't have the skills, you can be. But not all of the arts are the same.
Okay, so does anybody want to comment on that idea? What are some arts or some forms of art that you don't necessarily have to be skilled in, but you can be creative? Does anybody have any ideas? Yusuf, you were the one who mentioned that. Do you want to elaborate on that idea? Can you hear me, everyone?
Yeah, nice.
Yes. Just go ahead, Juan.
I think that an artist create something with their feelings and maybe what they put all their, I don't know, their feelings in their painters. And I think that a scientist creates something for the world, creates something to help the world.
Right, good. So something that they created, and you mentioned expressing their feelings, correct? So maybe expressing feelings is a key component to art, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we're going to go with another question that everybody will get the opportunity to answer. It seems like most of you said that no, you would not consider yourself to be an artist. So we're going to ask, what is your favorite form of art? Even if maybe you yourself are not an artist, what is your favorite form of art that you like to watch or to look at? So we'll start with Yusuf. Tell us.
Teacher, we can call theater like art?
Yes, theater can be art.
So I like theater so much because it's live, and I like that. You can feel the game's feeling.
Yeah, so theater I think is a very interesting form of art because like you said, it is live, so there are no retakes or going back and recording something again. It's very real right in front of you, right?
Yes.
Does anybody else like theater?
Yeah, I don't know.
I prefer painting.
Painting. And what kind of paintings do you like, Gustavo?
I like the painting of the I don't remember the movement. Impressionist movement.
Oh, yes, yes. Those are very interesting paintings. And tell us a little bit about the Impressionist movement. Do you know much about it?
Well, okay. I tell you that I know about the impressionist movement. Is kind of the impressionist movement show a different kind of painting that used to in that time, and use color more happy or more live colors like yellow or blue.
Very good, very good. So when was this movement? Do you know?
It started in France. In France.
Okay, very good, very good. So let's go now to Amin. How are you? Do you have a favorite type of art? Are you there, Amin? Okay, we'll go back to Juan. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing okay. What about yourself?
Fine, thank you. Welcome to the chat. We're talking about art. So, do you have a favorite form of art?
Actually, I am a musician. I mean, I like to play the trumpet in my free time, and I'm actually painter here in El Salvador.
Okay, so you're a
Can you hear me?
musician. So I imagine that your favorite form of art would be music then.
That's right.
Okay, great, great. And you said you play the trumpet?
Yes, that's right.
Very nice. Let's go to Marley. What is your favorite form of art? Are you there, Marley? Okay, we'll move on to Omar. Tell us your favorite form of art.
Okay. My favorite part of art is the participatory art, the kind that the artist interact with its audience. When an audience watch this piece of art, he described it the way he see it. For example, if I saw this painting, let's talk about the Da Vinci. Da Vinci. Da Vinci, when he drew the Mona Lisa, some people see it. Some people see the Mona Lisa laughing, and others see it mad, and even though some others see it sad with a sad face. That kind of art that has no limit, that everyone see it the way it wants, that it reflects what you think, what you think, anything related to your personality and your background, which is called participatory art.
Okay, great. So you like the art that takes the work of the viewer also as well as the artist, correct?
However, most of the participatory art are not an art that draw faces, but the art that draw shapes and something which is not related to the human being, something which cannot move, and you then think about it and say this could be that or this could be this. It's up to you.
Yeah, so that is a really nice type of art, I think, because it's not necessarily passive. You get to participate, as is the name, participatory art. Okay, very good. And Yusuf, how about you? Do you have a favorite form of art?
Yeah, I like cinema and musical art and also dancing art and graphics designing.
Okay, great. So let's talk about cinema. Some people think that all cinema is art, and some people think that only there are some films that can be considered art, and some films that cannot. What do you think? And this question is for anybody.
Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, what do you think about cinema as a form of art? Do you think that all films are some form of art?
I think art have to feed people's feeling, but nowadays cinema is about only for money, I think.
Okay, does anybody have a differing opinion than that?
I
Yeah,
agree with her.
Okay, tell us Omar about your opinion.
they say that nature that book and pen reflect the when we talk about art reflects the civilization, reflects what some nations believe. So when we used to talk about pen and paper, that they reflect what our ancestors had believed and what they how did they live. When we talk about us, now we talk about the films, about the movies. How and when we, if you want to know how people live in America, you have to watch a movie, watch something. You can't just read a book. Well, you can read a book, but when you talk about when you watch a movie, it's way better because it take you, and you feel like someone just in front of you. Another thing about the cinema is cinema is an evaluated path of the theater. First, first people used to work at theater, and then now they are working as an actress who behind the camera instead, in front of the camera instead.
Yes, yes. So good. Does anybody else have a comment on cinema?
I
Um,
Mm,
Go ahead, Gustavo.
okay. I think in both kind of movies, there commercial and non-commercial movies, I think there's art in both, because uh, there's a lot of work for make a movie, and it needs a lot of creativity. But in commercial movies, they um, try to make money, mostly, and I think that.
Right, good. So maybe there is a difference between there are two types of movies, commercial and non-commercial. So that's a good idea.
uh,
Paula, welcome to the class. How are you?
Yes, hi. How are you, Audrey?
Hi, thank you. So we're talking about different forms of art. Do you have a favorite form of art?
Uh, yeah, of course I do. I love to look at painting by famous artists. I sometimes love to go to visit their workshops or their some museums to watch their work. I think they reflect the life or our life in artistic way, the way they paint their paintings.
Yes, very good. And do you have a favorite artist?
Um, I have a favorite local artist. Maybe he's not that famous, but I love his work. Um, he used to focus on the eyes of children in every painting he does. You can see a child, but if you look carefully, you can see a life inside the eyes of a child. Um, it's so amazing. Um, it's so different when you can see a life through a painting, especially through
Yes.
a child's eye.
Yes, that's great. Okay, and now we have Juan Ojea. How are you?
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. One of my favorite arts is the comics. Uh,
Comics, great. What kind of comics do you like?
uh, I began reading comics of Tintin, Asterix and Obelix, Spider-Man, the Avengers, all comics of the Marvel Group. And nowadays, I continue with that comics and something new stories, how in theory or no sé.
Okay, great. And so you've been looking at comics for a long time, right?
Can you repeat, please?
Yes. Have you been interested in comics for a long time?
Yes, yes. I think it's one of the arts more ¿cómo se dice? Olvidado. Mm, I don't know the word.
That's okay.
Valorated,
Yes.
but is the most, for me, is one of the most creative arts. I think.
Okay, good. And can you tell us a little bit about how the comics have changed since you first started to read them?
Uh, how are changing the comics?
Yes, how have they changed since the past?
I think in the past the comics are very simple with little colors, no? And nowadays the comics are very complicated, and mm, the stories I have reading at the moment are more complicated.
Okay, very good. And why do you think that is? Anybody can answer this question, but why do you think that comics and maybe even other forms of art have become more complicated?
Because today the stories in the past the superheroes stories are very simple, and nowadays I don't know more.
Okay, very good, very good. They're becoming more complex. So what are some other forms of art that have changed over time? And it's probably every form of art, but who wants to comment on a specific form of art and how it has changed over time?
Teacher, I cannot hear you clearly because a sound is strange. Maybe TV or radio, I don't know.
Yes, is anybody else having difficulty hearing?
Yes, I have a bad connection.
Yeah, no, me.
No, I'm hearing you very good.
For me, it's clear.
Hello.
Okay, I know I'm having
I hear
a couple.
some TV sound.
Yes, just make sure if there's any sound, extra sound coming from your microphone, that you mute your mic. I know I'm having some problems with my microphone as well, but I'm trying to mute it when I'm not talking. So just make sure that you keep the noise level down. Okay, good. Albano, why don't you tell us a little bit about What did you say was your favorite form of art? I don't remember.
Hmm. I say theater.
Yes, yes, theater. So tell us, have you noticed that theater may have changed a little bit in the from the past to now?
Uh, I'm young, and so this question a little bit difficult for me. Uh, a few years I go often go theater. So it depends on the game, theater's game.
Okay, yes, I see. And so you have not been very interested or very involved in theater for such a long time, so you don't really know about how it was in the past, correct?
Yes, yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. So another topic that we can talk about art is how important art is in school systems, because I know here in the U.S. it's a big issue as to whether to include art in schools or not, because it can be expensive to teach all these different classes, art classes, music classes, and things like that. So sometimes it becomes a little less important. But tell us a little bit about how art is taught in your country or in your area. And we'll start with Allah. Why don't you go ahead? Are you there, Allah?
Yes, I muted my mic. Um, in our schools, we have classes for arts, for poetry, for painting, for plays, for speech or speaking, whatever. They are so serious about these things, and students have improved a lot, especially in the theater and the poetry. They love these two fields, and also the paintings. Um, some of these students have become to be professional in their fields.
Okay, that's very good. So there's a great amount of importance placed on art there, correct?
Yeah.
That's very good. Okay, and we'll go now to, and that's in Saudi Arabia, correct? That's where you're from, Allah?
Yeah, I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Okay, great. So now we'll go to Albina. Can you tell us a little bit about how important art is in school where you are from?
In our schools, there are painting class and music class. I every time prefer painting. It's still go on our schools, high schools and other schools, but not university.
Okay, good. So, but you said in the university, it's not in the universities. Art is not taught.
Yes, then for example, in engineering faculty, we can talk about
I see. So in the primary schools and secondary schools, they have art available, but in the universities, not so much. Okay, good. Amin, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, can you tell us how schools place importance of art in your area? So, do schools place a lot of importance on art?
Yeah, in Saudi Arabia, school is very important, but there is a lot of people. Yeah, it's very important. They love the arts in Saudi Arabia, but we have some problem in our class. Maybe some people that are studying, but they don't want they don't know how they get the learning or how they get the teaching of the teacher.
Okay, I see. I see. So you can agree with Allah that there's a lot of importance placed on art in Saudi Arabia, but there are also some problems, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good. So Gustavo, why don't you tell us a little bit about the art program there
Please
in
give us
school?
information or some.
Program in my country.
Yes, in public or private schools.
Well, in my country, there's no many programs about art in the schools, and there's no many museums of art. Uh, Mostly there's in the capital in Bogota.
Okay, yes. So do you think that it's important that we educate young people about art? Do you think it's important?
I think it's very important because that could help the children must be more creative, and the art is an expression of the creative of the artist, and sometimes the artists show us through their painting or the other kind of arts many of their feelings.
Very good. And so, what other opportunities could students use to learn about art if it's not taught in the schools? How can you learn about it there?
Well, through the internet. For example, I can access to the most important museums of the world, the Louvre or other museums. I can. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And I can see the paintings and other thing is about books of art in the libraries. You can access to the books of art and learn about your favorite artist.
Yes, good. So hopefully now with the internet and availability of books and libraries, we can, even if it isn't taught so much in the schools, there are still opportunities for students to learn about art. Okay, so we'll go back to one. Can you tell us a little bit about how art is taught in your country?
Okay, well, I think that the art is not so important in my country. For example, when I was in the primary school, I used to take, there's a class, which calls art, and that class is just one per week, and the duration of the class is just 1 hour, and it's the same in in the high school. So I think that people don't look at the art like something that, like a subject that will make you successful or something like that. But of course, if you want to study, finishing the school, the high school, you want to study something like graphic design or fashion designing, of course you could study, because there are a lot of universities here that give you the opportunity to study something involved to the art. But in the school, I think that the art is not, it's not important. It's just like another class, another subject.
Yes, I see. I see. Okay, very good. And we have Juan Ojeda. Could you tell us a little bit about art there?
Oh yes, I think the arts are very important in the school of my country, Spain. I have a daughter in the with 7 years in the school now, and she have 2 hours a week to music class, and 2 hours of art, of painting, of a class of painting. I think is very little.
Yes, you think she should have more time for this art development?
Yes, I think yes. I think people knows different arts are best peoples, and it's better for her minds.
Yes, so that's good at least that she has the art classes and the music classes, but hopefully maybe in the future there can be more emphasis put on art so that students are getting more knowledge and more time in art classes. Okay, great. And now we'll go to Omar. Can you tell us a little bit about the way art is taught in your country?
Art is taught in my country as a school subject in the elementary school, secondary school, and high school. In every year of them, there is two subjects related to the art, which are the music and painting. We have to in the painting. They teach us how the painting thinks about art. How do we draw? How to use a pen, and how to paint. And when it comes to music, they didn't learn us how to practice on some instrument, but instead they taught us the history of the music, especially the Arab music. When it comes to universities, there is some specific universities that that teach you arts. For example, we have the University of Fine Arts, which teach you any kind of arts you would like to learn, whether it's about painting, whether about most of them are about painting actually. However, digital arts here are not that famous. Most people who want to learn about digital art, such as using Photoshop or other program, use use the internet, so it can be a reference for them, or some private institute which are mostly expensive, and not anyone can afford that. Atlas, I'd like to share with you something about the Arab art. When it's
Okay,
about
go ahead.
2 days ago, I read about the Arab history and arts. What Arabs were unique of, that they have this scare and a fear of the emptiness of the space. So if you went into some ancient city and watch the Arab monument, you would see that there is no space, there is no emptiness. In each spot there is something. There are words, they paint something, or they just put something. They have this they have this horror of the emptiness. Okay.
Okay, yes, very good, very good. I see, that's very interesting. Okay, and now we'll go to Yusuf. Could you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, can you mute yourself, please? Yeah, it's much better. I'm gonna talk in generally. So I think most of the artists are talented, and not all of the talented people are became artists. So teaching art and having art classes in the school, it's very good for kids. Uh, for kids' talent to be polished. So I think it's very important.
Okay, great. And about your country specifically, do they teach art much in your country?
No, unfortunately, education system it's not that good. So no, some in some schools, some private schools, but it's not very popular,
Yes, I
especially
see.
especially in musics and some there is in painting, poetry, but not all the arts.
Yes, good. Okay, and we have a new student, Osama. How are you? Are you there, Osama? Okay, maybe not. Well, let's go back to the discussion we had, and you're just mentioning how that maybe in the public schools, or maybe in the private schools, they teach a little bit more art, but it's hard in the public schools. Okay, so that's a good point. Let's ask another question. Why is it important? And I know some of you have answered this in your response to the last question, but what can students gain from learning art and from studying art? What does that do for children?
Polish their talent.
Right. So maybe some students are born with natural talents and they don't have the opportunity to polish them or to develop them. Right. Good. Anybody else?
They can develop their creativity.
Yeah, so if schools just focus on mathematics and science, it's very difficult for students to develop their creativity. And I think that it's important that we develop those habits early on when students are young, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Anybody else want to comment on this?
That has the same point which we usually ask ourselves. Do we get the talent or do we born with the talent? Do we have since we are young? I don't know. Do we when I have my pen and then I draw, or someone has to teach me that? There is a lot of discussion about it.
Yes, and we did have a class about this earlier, a couple weeks ago, about talent. But does anybody want to comment on that? Are you born with your talent, or do you have to be taught the talent?
I believe you get the talent. No one born with the talent or something. For example, you can't be smart just because you were born smart. You have to do something and study, work hard. Then you will be smart. It's not like you just a smart person out of nothing. You have some basics to work on.
Okay, good. Let me ask Albano, what do you think?
Mm, I think every child born talented person, but with time we lose some skills. So childish term is so important for a child. Um, we have to give them everything because they can understand what we teach to them. I don't know. I can explain.
Yeah, so you mean that children are very kind of adaptive. They can understand early on some things and develop their talents easier than maybe adults can.
Yes, 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 teacher.
Okay, very
You
good.
understand me very well.
Yes, you're doing very well. And Juan, what do you think? Would you like to comment?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't understand this.
Yes. Would you like to comment on this idea about talent? Do you think that we are born with talents, or do you think that we have to be taught them?
Well, I think we have to be talented because I don't know. It's very important. I don't know how to explain it. Because we have to, in everything that we do, we have to like put uh our talent. I don't know how to explain it. Not even in Spanish.
Okay, very good. But that's good. Okay, any last comments before we go on to our final question? Are there any more comments about this idea about being talented?
If we all agree that everyone is born with a talent, so where is everybody talent now? Like one is 22, 23, 25 years old. So if he born with a talent, so where is his talent now? I think uh, teaching art and in school and help them to polish their talent and exploring what they are capable of and exploring their skills. It is the main point here.
Yes, I agree with you. I think so too. Okay, very good. So we only have a couple minutes left, so I'm gonna leave you all with a question, and we'll go ahead and let everybody have a chance to answer. We've been talking about art this hour, and a lot that has to do with art is inspiration. So I want to ask everybody, what inspires you the most? What inspires you? Albana, what inspires you? Are you there, Albana?
Sorry, teacher, I didn't understand you.
Yes, what inspires you? What inspires you?
Can you write the question?
Yes, I'll write the question and we'll go ahead with Gustavo. I'll ask Gustavo first and then we'll come back to you, okay? So Gustavo,
Okay.
what inspires you?
The beauty inspires me.
Okay, good. So what kind of things that are beautiful inspire you?
Maybe a landscape, for example.
Okay, good. Juan, what inspires you?
Okay, what inspires me is that it's that in the future I will be a successful person. Okay, I will put an example. Imagine that I'm studying and I get bored to study, so I told to myself, Juan, you have to do this, you have to study because if you do this in the future, you will be a successful person. So you have to study for it. Well, that's where it inspired me.
Yes, good. So future success, that's a very good one. It inspires you to keep going even when things get kind of difficult, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. And Juan Ojeda, what inspires you?
The principal inspire for me is the nature. If uh, I can painting, I only painting nature.
Can you say again? I couldn't understand what you said.
The nature Is
Oh yes,
is all
the nature, nature.
nature. Sorry, nature.
Very good. Okay, so yes, nature can inspire us.
Yes. If I can paint, I only paint nature.
Yes, good. It's very beautiful. Let's go to Omar. What inspires you, Omar?
I'm not inspired. I would disagree with my mate. I'm not inspired with the nature at all. I see it as silent art that has nothing to be inspired of. But instead, for me, I am inspired with the urban life, anything that is related to the city, which has some social interaction with some human being. It could it even that a traffic jam could be even more inspiring for me than anything in nature. A traffic jam.
So what inspires you is the people then, not the
Yeah,
nature.
people more than the nature.
Okay, good. Let's go to Yusuf. What inspires you?
Mm, what inspire me is those is a person, or actually is those creative, talented, and people, those artists who make a difference. So that is inspire me a lot.
Yes, great. So to see other creative and talented people, very good. Okay, and lastly, we'll go to Scotty. Welcome to the class.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, so tell us where you're from and tell us what inspires you. We can end our class with this question.
Okay, I'm from Saudi Arabia, from the Eastern region. Okay, uh, I think you are talking about the talent. Here, your question that some people born with some talent. Just I have a little comment that the community maybe or the traditional things make the people stand against these talents. For example, when some kids talk talking much or all the time, they said, "Don't talk like this. Uh, your kids' behavior is not well like this." Um, maybe in maybe from family first, then from school. When the parents looking to this things from the uh, from a good way, maybe um, maybe this is good talent in the future for this for their kids.
Okay, great. Yes, and you had mentioned how community and family influences the talent. So I think that's a good point that we hadn't mentioned before. But okay, are there any last comments before we leave? We're out of time. Any last comments or questions? If not, I want to thank everybody for coming and participating in this class, and I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day, and that I see you in class on Wednesday. Okay, everyone, thank you for participating, and take care.